In topic number 6, there is a last article today I will discuss, that is tariff option for the consumer to maintain demand side management. So tariff is depends upon two things. One is the types of consumer and second is the type of load. So type of consumer decide the type of load. So one and same thing, if the load is a particular category, then which type of tariff we have to apply for maximum output in the system. Output in sense that revenue of the generating agency or the electricity supply agency should be maximum in that case. So our objective is to manage the demand of electricity depending upon our two conditions, half load peak period or peak load period, or off load peak period. Means when peak period is low, at that time what type of action we have to taken for decision of tariff, and when peak load is there, then what type of decision we have to take for decision of tariff. So there are total 7 type of tariffs are there, which are applicable from different applicable to different consumer from time to time. And every year the electricity supply agency made the necessary correction in the tariff according to the situation in the system. So there are 7 tariffs are there, in which I will just read out the number of tariff. First is flat demand tariff, second is flat rate tariff, third is simple tariff, fourth is block rate tariff, fifth is two-part tariff, sixth is maximum demand tariff, and seventh is power factor tariff. The power factor tariff have two part, maximum KVA demand tariff and maximum KVAR demand tariff. These are the two part of power factor tariff. So one by one we discuss each type of tariff. The flat demand tariff, it is common for the consumers which are having the similar type of load. This one of the earlier form of tariff which was used when the generating stations were started in past and electricity come in common use. At that time flat demand tariff was there, and this demand is decided either in horsepower or kilowatt. So according to kilowatt rating or horsepower rating, the demand tariff is applicable, and for the operating hours of the load in HP or kilowatt, they decide the number of units, and according to unit this type of tariff applied to the consumer. Such type of tariff is still used for street light connection and agricultural connections and the domestic connections. So this type of tariff is based on the kilowatt and horsepower rating of the load. The number of working hours also calculated for the equipment, and according to that we work out how much unit consumed by the particular load in a duration of 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, and according to that we charge the unit. So this is the flat demand tariff. So in flat demand tariff, type of consumer decided according to their connected load in HP or kilowatt, and according to their use hours of the load, the tariff is decided. So this is the flat demand tariff. Second is flat rate tariff. The flat rate tariff is that tariff in which the category of consumer is different. The types of different consumers, according to that we have to decide the tariff for different type of consumers according to this particular type of tariff. So in this particular tariff differ from the flat demand tariff in the sense that the different class of consumer are charged at different rates. Here it is important that there are 4 category of consumers are there: domestic, commercial, industrial and agriculture. So according to different category of consumer, the tariff rates are different for different consumers. So this is called flat rate tariff, and this flat rate is fixed for one type of consumer. Suppose we are having a consumer of domestic installation or domestic type consumer. So we charge suppose at the rate of 5 rupees per unit. So this is the fix for all type of domestic consumer. Similarly, if you go for commercial consumer, then rate of charging for per unit is say 8 rupees. So 8 rupees will be fixed for all type of commercial consumer. Similarly, if you go for the agriculture consumer, then it is decided say 7 rupees per unit. So it will be constant for all agriculture consumer. So commercial, industrial, if industrial consumers are there, so they are also charged with a fixed rate of 10 rupees or 11 rupees, whatever it may be. So this flat rate is fixed for according to the category of consumer. So 4 category of consumers are there, so there will be 4 rate of the unit charge for different type of consumer. This is called flat rate tariff. Then a simple tariff is there. Simple tariff is that it is don't discriminate between types of consumer, but according to the production cost of the electricity and whatever surcharge or overhead charges are added on this, according to that a flat rate is decided on which the electricity is sold to all category of consumer. That is called simple tariff. So in simple tariff, nothing to worried, only one particular rate is fixed, and this tariff is for all type of consumer without any discrimination. So this is called simple tariff, and it is determined by the generating cost, transmission cost and distribution cost. Total cost divided by number of units supplied. So this will give the rupees per unit the cost of the tariff, and according to that the simple tariff is particularly applied for all category of consumers. Now next is the block rate tariff. Block rate tariff is that it was defined as there are different blocks of unit consumption is there. Say for example, in the beginning when electricity was started in distribution, so people were afraid of electricity, so they were not using electricity connection. So to motivate the consumer at that time, block rate tariff is decided like this, that for first 100 unit they charge rupees 5 per unit, and if somebody consume 200 unit, then charge will be 4 rupees per unit will be charged. If consume more units, say 300, 400 unit, then it will be 3 rupees per unit. This was the beginning when consumers was to motivated to use the electricity. But nowadays, when demand is more and supply is less, so this block rate tariff become reverse of that. Reverse of that means for suppose 200 unit, if you are charging 5 rupees per unit, then if consumer consume more than 200 unit, then you will go for higher rates. So you put the block of either 200 unit blocks are there. So first 200 you charge say 5 rupees. Next 200 means 400 units are consumed, then you charge 6 rupees. Then if further 200 unit also further increase is there, so you charge at the rate of 7 rupees per unit. So in this unit there is a probability of discouraging the consumer that they should use minimum energy, and whenever the energy is not required, they don't switch on the load. So in this way the conservation of energy also takes place, and the consumer discourages for higher consumption of electricity, because as he go higher and higher in this block, so block of units they are decided by the supplying agency. Suppose 200 unit first block is there, then 200 to 400 unit is the second block is there, 400 to 600 is the third block is there. So for every block rate is in increasing order, means 5 rupees, 6 rupees, 7 rupees, 8 rupees like this. So as you consume more and more energy, you have to charge more, means consumer have to pay more bill. So in this way, by this block rate tariff, this particular tariff is discourage the consumer to use higher value of electricity or higher consumption load. They cut off to avoid the higher charges for the higher consumption. So this will also conserve the energy in many cases of the consumer, where people are just consuming higher energy, so they try to keep energy within limit of their energy bill or in the capacity of their payment of the energy bill. So this help in conservation of energy. Then there is a two-part tariff. Now what happen in the large consumer of HT type, in case of commercial or industrial consumer, there is a fixed, the load is say in terms of kW or kVA. So there are two-part tariff is there. One part is charged for the fixed charges and second is charged for the unit charges. So for example, if a particular installation have 100 kVA load, so 100 kVA load, it is the total load of that particular installation, which is called the connected load. So according to connected load, if he apply for agreement to have contract demand of suppose 70 kVA, out of 100 connected load, he is using only 70% of the load. So contract demand of that particular consumer becomes 70 kVA. So kVA rating is normally decided in the terms of fixed charge. Say for example 300 rupees per kVA, this is the charge for the contract demand. But actual bill will be calculated according to billing demand. So suppose 70 kVA is decided as the contract demand. According to that 300 rupees into 70, that will be give 21,000 rupees as a contract demand charge, that is fixed charge. But actual demand is not 70 kVA, it is comes out to be 40 kVA suppose. So bill will be charged according to 40 kVA. So 40 kVA is the actual demand of the particular consumer in a particular month. So 40 multiplied by 300, so 12,000 rupees will be the fixed charges. Now unit charges, according to this consumption of 40 kVA fixed charge, number of units they are read according to the maximum demand meter. Nowadays electronic meters are there, so they give all type of readings required. The fixed charges, they give the kVA reading. So according to kVA reading, we can fix up the charges for fixed charges. And when it is given for number of units, so number of units may be 6 rupees per unit, 7 rupees per unit. So total bill of the consumer will be fixed charges plus running charges or the unit charges. So this is called two-part tariff. So in two-part tariff, it is a benefit to the consumer in this way that they try to keep their load within limit of their payment, so that fixed charges do not increase. Otherwise, whether they have to go for use of 70 kVA or not, if their maximum demand varies up to 70 kVA, then they have to charge according to that. Or in case if the demand is increased suddenly due above the contract demand of 70 kVA, suppose it becomes 75 kVA, so whole year consumer have to charge on that particular 75 kVA rating. That is, the demand is shoot up more than the contract demand. So consumer have to charge on the basis of 75 kVA whole year, and whatever unit consumption is there, it is shown by the meter. So according to 6 rupees 50 paisa or 7 rupees per unit, it will be charged as the running charges, or it is called the unit charges. So two-part tariff, it is like this: fixed charges according to contract demand or maximum demand, and unit charges according to unit consumed. So sum of the two, it will be the total bill of the consumer. What is the advantage of this particular tariff? it is that the consumers which are of this category, normally this type of tariff applicable to the commercial consumer and industrial consumer. So industrial and commercial consumer try to keep their contract demand within the limit of their payment of the fixed charges. So if suppose 100 kVA is the, of course, connected load is there, so they will install a transformer of say 125 kVA for sake of the safety or the additional load increase. So for factor of safety they install a transformer of 125 kVA while their connected load is 100 kVA and contract demand is 70 kVA. So our maximum billing demand is say 40 kVA. So 40 kVA is the billing demand on which the bill will be charged on the 40 kVA. Contract demand is 70 kVA. But in case in any month of the year, if this demand suddenly goes due to increase of sudden load and it cross the 70 kVA limit of the contract demand, then consumer have to pay the bill according to the increased demand of whatever it may be. I have given the example that 70 to 75 kVA over. So for whole year he has to pay the bill according to 75 kVA multiplied by 300 rupees per kVA. So this will be lost to the consumer. So to discourage consumer to use any sudden high load, the consumer is aware of this, that if he use this type of things in case of any month of the year, then whole year he has to charge on that rate. So he tried to keep the load in proper control, and he always conscious about that the load do not increase then the billing demand or the maximum demand, or it should not increase beyond the contract demand. Otherwise he has to pay more. So this is the way by which we can control the consumer, that is commercial consumer as well as the industrial consumer. Then third is the next two-part tariff. After that there is a maximum demand tariff. Now maximum demand tariff, as I have told you, in two-part tariff there is a one part is there maximum demand tariff. So maximum demand is decided according to that I have discussed just now, that maximum demand is that in the whole year or in a month if we calculate, then the maximum demand will be charged according to kW or kVA per kVA or per kW. So maximum demand is that in the whole year, if maximum demand go beyond the contract demand, so one has to charge with the help of that. So there is a maximum demand meter is installed on the premises of the consumer, and there is a monthly readings taken by the electricity supply agency, and every month they observe the maximum demand. So maximum demand, it is a variable in every month. So whatever maximum demand in a particular month goes, so they note down that maximum demand and decide the fixed charges and reset that meter to zero again. So in the coming month, say for in January, month of January, there is a 35 kW is the maximum demand. So it is noted by the meter reader, or nowadays because SEMS meters are used, so this reading automatically reach to the control room. So from where they will lift this data and they will charge for 35 kilowatt demand for January. Then if it is in the month of February, the maximum demand go to 40 kilowatt, then they will charge for that month with 40 kilowatt. The unit charges are different. They are shown by the maximum demand meter. So there is a maximum demand indicator is there in the old type of meter, and below this there is a slots of the units are there. So that was the electrical meters was there, but nowadays electronic meter are there, so they are giving number of readings as required for the purpose. So maximum demand can be shown by the SEMS meter directly, and these meters are directly connected through internet or the wireless system, so that the reading directly obtain in the control room or at the place where it is to be required. So this type of maximum demand tariff, it is varies from month to month. Means in January maximum demand is 35, so they will charge according to 35 kilowatt. Then in February, if it is increased to 40 kilowatt, they will charge according to 40 kilowatt. In March, suppose reading goes down, means it become 25 kilowatts, then they will charge 25 according to 25 kilowatt. But here also one thing is to be noted, that whenever according to our contract demand, if demand is increased beyond that limit, then definitely whole year you have to charge, or the consumer have to charge on that particular demand, which is known as shoot up of the demand. Shoot up of the demand means your contract demand is say 70, and if you shoot up to 80, so whole year you have to pay by the 80 kilowatt per kilowatt rate. Okay, so this will be very costly affair for the consumer. So consumer has to be very particular about this. Now power factor tariff. The power factor tariff, it is imposed by the electricity authority, that if there is a low power factor, then for the same load, the load will draw more current from the supply, and as a result of low power factor, the overheating of transmission line, jumpers, joints of distribution line, they also heated up, and they are damaged in course of time. So for maintenance of the distribution line and transmission line, the electrical supply agency has to pay definitely certain amount for repair and maintenance of those lines. So consumers are forced to keep the power factor within a stipulated limit decided by the supplying agency. Normally 0.95 to 1 unity, this is the range fixed by the authority, and this power factor tariff, it is charged to those people who are the commercial consumer or they are industrial consumer. So power factor tariff are applicable for these two type of consumer, and whenever there is a low power factor is there, then there will be penalty will be charged by the electricity supply agency. If you want to keep 0.95 to 1, then there will be no penalty, or on contrary they will give some incentive to you for maintenance of unity power factor or good power factor within the limit. But if power factor is lower than the limit decided by the supplying agency, then you have to pay. Normally for 0.01 drop of power factor, you have to charge say 2000 rupees per 0.01. So if your power factor goes say 0.85 to 0.75, then you have to pay about 20,000 rupees as a penalty. So this penalty is to be charged by the electricity authority for the purpose of low power factor improvement. So for low power factor improvement, advice is given to all the consumers of HT category or the category of this type of industrial consumer, that they should keep their power factor within the limit of 0.95 to 1, so that they can install the power factor improvement capacitor bank there, or automatic power improvement device, that is PA, automatic power control panel, power factor control panel, they install, and they can read out the power factor according to the required range of 0.5 to 1. Now this power factor tariff have two part in this two section, that is KVA maximum demand tariff and KVAR maximum demand tariff. So as we know that KVA and KVAR, this is relate the power factor. The reactive power if more, then power factor will be poor, and reactive power will be less, then power factor will be good. So they also go for calculation of power factor with the help of KVAR demand and KVA demand, because the ratio of KVAR and KVA that will decide the power factor. So we try to reduce the kVAR in the system. So if you reduce the kVAR in the system, that is, if you reduce the inductive load in the system, then your kVAR will be reduced, and due to reduction of kVAR, your power factor will improve. So naturally you have to get benefit of that. But if the kVAR demand is more compared to kVA demand, so your power factor will be poor, and as a result of that you have to pay the penalty to the electrical supply agency. So in short, we can say that in power factor tariff, our objective should be there, that the power factor should lies within the permissible limit given by the electrical supply agency. Normally it is 0.95 to unity. 0.95 से 1 के बीच में अगर पावर फैक्टर आप मेंटेन करते हैं तो you will be not charge any penalty. On the contrary, you will get some benefit for that. Otherwise you have to charge the penalty for that. So this is the awareness program for the HT consumer. Those who are commercial or industrial consumer, they try to keep their power factor as per the limit decided by the electrical supply agency. So this is all type of tariff options are there, and according to the type of consumer, the tariffs are decided mainly to discourage the consumer to consume more electrical energy when the demand is more and supply is less. So they have to decide according to that. So this is the all about this particular topic, in which according to your course whatever points are given, that I have discussed today, and now there is no any other points remain. So this particular there is a DSM program approaches I have not discussed at that time. So you can just go through this DSM program approach. So how you have to approach for demand side management program. So there are some points are there that I will read out. That general information program for consumers about energy efficiency should be given. So that is a awareness program that consumers should be acquainted with the energy efficient machineries or drives, in which the star rating equipments are also nowadays available in the market. So according to the star rating, the consumer should purchase that type of equipment so that consumption will be less. Second is information program about specific DSM technique opportunity for the industry. For industry, they should have the DSM technique according to the appropriate industry. They have to decide this DSM program. So definitely type of industry, those industries where intensive power consumption industries are there, so more precautions to be taken in this case. Then financing of program to assist consumers to pay for DSM measures. So for DSM measures, consumers should be imposed with certain penalties or financial program in form of penalty, so that they can contribute for increasing the demand as well as the supply, so that the load factor can be maintained unity. So this type of program, as I have discussed, it can be applicable by the power factor tariff, because to maintain the power factor within limit, so they have not to charge any extra money, and if they keep power factor lower, so they have to charge. So in this type the financial requirement can be meet out for the supplying agency for maintenance of the distribution and transmission line. Then turnkey projects are to be taken for design of this type of load which consume less energy. So naturally in case of industry, furnaces are there which consume more energy. So you have to install such furnaces which are having good efficiency. So thermal losses should be minimized by keeping proper thermal protection or the thermal resistance equipment should be used, or thermal resistance packing should be used with the furnaces, so that loss of energy not takes place. So this is the one approach for DSM management. Then alternative tariff program should be applicable to the industry from time to time. Now whatever 7 type of tariff I have discussed, time to time we should give the option to the consumer to change the type of tariff according to their use. So this alternate use of the tariff program, that will also increase the consumption of the electricity, and at the same time the revenue of the electricity supply agency will increase. So these are the types of DSM program approaches, and according to these approaches we can motivate the consumers for the consumption of electricity in economical way. Overall objective of DSM is that we have to discourage the consumer to use electricity when demand is more and supply is less. And second, we have to motivate the consumer to use more electricity when demand is less and supply is more. So ultimately whole topic is moving around these 2 points, and for that whatever measurement we have taken, whatever measures we have taken, I have discussed in form of DSM technique, tariff options and DSM program. So this is all finished your topic number 6. You prepare the notes according to this lecture, and submit it to the in the assignment when I give the assignment second to you. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you.